everyone. This is Jerome Wright, and you're joining me on my Jerome Wright YouTube channel. Okay. As you are all aware, through my paranormal experience and encounter, which is ongoing, I have been able to bring you some amazing videos, okay, regarding what I encountered through my experiences that has given me this higher sense of awareness and understanding as to what is going on around us, who knows about it, and pretty much the true evolutionary passages of mankind. What you're looking at here, and actually in doing that, I'm able to understand artwork and give you a sense of how to read this artwork and what is going on and why there were certain scenarios in mankind's ancient texts and ancient artwork that just seem so baffling, but yet those that are in the position to best describe what this is going on have no answers, and it's just mind-boggling that that we have been kept in the dark for so long. But I'm going to bring you this image. I'm going to get to this. I'm going to try to make this short and sweet. Over the weekend, the holiday weekend, of Veterans Day, an amazing story unfolded on my Facebook page. Okay, what happened is that I'd been drawn into the $100 bill, the U.S. $100 bill. And in doing that, I was able to make some amazing decodings on that $100 bill with Ben Franklin that nobody never knew about. I actually even made a video here on YouTube about it. However, I actually called Ben Franklin George Washington in the video. I'm going to let the video stand. I'm not going to change it. I did stand corrected in a footnote, and I did actually state after a viewer brought it to my attention. But also, though, it's notwithstanding the fact that I actually have decoded George Washington as well. So this is the reason why Ben Franklin George Washington came to mind when I was describing the $100 bill as being that of George Washington. So, and I guess we can agree that both characters are seemingly so much alike as well. And I'm sure I'm not the only one that made a mistake. All right, but there's no justification for it. I made a mistake. I stand corrected on it. However, let's go back to this Madonna image. Unbeknownst to a lot of people, that there are commemorating statues, commemorating texts, and ancient artifacts which symbolizes the Black Madonna. Okay? And it's for good reason, people, because it is not only just a scientific fact, but it is a logical fact that we evolved from a creature which was that of ape. Okay? And in order, and this is just being in a logically stated way, in order for us to get from this creature and likeness, we had to go through a metamorphic process which would cause for this creature likeness, and then finally into becoming the likenesses of all other mankind. Okay? Now, so logically stated, you would logically think that there would be a history of our black African ancestors which genetically contributed to the genetic becoming of all other mankind. So I found that to be the case. In parts of our world, such as Poland and France, they actually share in this idea that I just stated, and they commemorate the Black Madonna. All right, so you guys can Google that and check that out. Now, but look at this, people. Look at this image. And this is a very similar scenario globally. Here you have this black likeness, this African likeness of this woman, here with a baby sitting on her lap, with a green founding pedestal, if you will, going across the feet there. And then she holds this golden ball. People, what do this have to do with religion? Look at this. What this is showing you is this woman is stating through her body, through a genetic altering process, there was an extraction of genes and a new gene was created. And this is the only logical sense that you can make out of this image. Why else would this woman be holding a ball? This child with two fingers up, this symbolic symbol across the feet here. Now, this was an ancient scenario, artifact scenario. Let's go a little bit more modern scenario. How artists, how everything I just stated is being shown right here. You Google the image of Black Madonna. This is one that you will find in that search. Let me show you how artists that become famous for their artwork, for knowing the underlying message, how they get away with putting encryptions right in your face, which commemorate who they genetically are. See, in this cult-like practice or this cult-like ritual, they cannot get away with describing who they are without first paying homage to where they came from. So they have to give you this likeness, this black woman. All right. Now, let me see what I can give you first. I want to show you something. Do I have this? Okay, I might be able to. I'm going to have to bring it in closer. This image is stating that we evolved. This is another image of the Black Madonna, mind you. This black woman stating, this artist is stating that this black woman gave birth to a new form of life which calls for a transformation of that of mankind. So how is this being stated? We come down here to between her legs, which is her vagina area. If you look down up in here, you will actually see an image of a face. It's a reptilian face, by the way, too, people. It's right there, okay? Now, there's a stem coming out, and you have a flower. It's my position that this flower represents the Hindu lotus, okay? The lotus flower that grows through dark, murky waters. Okay, this is a symbolic symbolization of that in the Hindu culture. Now, so what has come out of her vagina that this flower is symbolizing? Well, it is here. Here, this is shown drawn as a gown, a red gown. Here's the sleeves of the gown. Okay, and then here in this crystal-like ball mass, there are images, multi-dimensional images, which create the faces of the beings that are being described. Okay, so now, this African woman's hands are holding up the doll, or the doll-like image, I call it like the Barbie image, up on her frontal area, in the same sense that is being described here. There's the ball. And now here's the ball. Now I'm going to bring this in closer and show you exactly what is there. Now I made some highlights. Let me see if I can bring this in without distorting it all the way. Because I made the highlights and I'm distorting it. Alright, let me go back and see. Is this the one that I made the highlight on? Let me see. Yes, it is. But it's small as I don't know what. I thought that I grew, you know what, I should have printed this image out because I made it come in later. Now, let me show you something here, people. And I should have printed the other image. I'm thinking that I had the other image. Here, looking at you, is the chin, the mouth, and the eye. One eye covered over. Which one eye is that? I think it's the left eye covered over. There's a witch-like woman who I dub as the mother of creation, looking right at us. You see other faces coming in of her own image right there, looking in. Okay, but it gets better than that, people. So just bear with me there. All right. What's covering her eye is like a rainbow of colors, which creates a scarf over top of her head, a halo, if you will, which is coming over. I should have printed that image. Oh, I can choke myself for not doing that because I actually have it in closer. I blew it up and then actually did it. Well, anyway, I got to keep going with this video. So what do we have here? If you look in each one of these rainbow images, there's another face of a being, which is shown morphing from off of this creature right here. So, what is being shown? What is being described? You guys can come to my Facebook page too, because now I'm freaking sick that I didn't. Hold on. I might have it here highlighted too. I might be saved. Okay, here we go. Here it's highlighted here. Let me bring it in. Can you see those faces, people? Look at the purple. Look at the green, and then look at the white. There are the yellow. There are four faces. This face is looking forward, shown another face of her own likeness morphing this way. Then in the green, another face morphing off of that, and then in the purple, another face as well. Okay? All from this stemming from this woman's vagina, her genetics. Showing you an extraction, a genetic extraction, and where these genes are going. So now, where do all of this come from? Well, first let me tell you that if you look in, now I'm backwards here. Let me go here, which side it would actually come on. It comes on this side here. If you look on this side, here, in her sleeve. You ever heard that you're wearing yourself on your sleeve? That comment? Well, people, it is depicted that way pretty much, quite frankly, in artwork. In their sleeves, in their clothing, it's depicted. This creates the extended neck of that of a dinosaur and other morphing creatures, which actually include a lion, amongst a host of other creatures that are multidimensional here, just as these images appear multidimensional there. And even here, you can even see a chin, a mouth, a nose, and an eye going in. Multidimensional images. There's about 6 different faces of one single being right here, showing you morphing off in all the directions. So, from the dinosaur, which is a representation, almost as pretty much, I like to say, of should I say the behemoth or the Levitron, which would be on this side, which would be in the image of the megalodon shark in this sleeve. So what is being described here is from this side, which is the oceanic genetic contributors of mankind's being, and then the land creatures of the genetic contributors of mankind being emerged, and in the face, in the hair here, you'll see the image of an ape, which is the chin, the mouth, the nose separating line, over top of the lip area, the left eye and the right eye, the face of an ape right there, because the ape people, the first ape, the reptilian ape, emerged from that of our ancestor, which is the megalodon shark, great white shark. Alright, now, our reptilian ancestors other reptilian ancestors from the land side, which had already emerged from the oceanic properties of our world, are shown here. It's a cyclination process which calls for the creation of these likenesses, and a continued process which actually calls for a maintenance process, which we can further away from, and which is happening today in reality. Now, also here on this creature, which is the head, and you see the points from that, like that creature there, you see that there's a head there, and these are points representing points. You see that lizard-like creature there, which represents that. You see, look at the numbers which are here, and letters like a text going back and coming across. People, all of this, believe it or not, appears on the US $100 bill. This, the US $100 bill, people, is where I realized that this was here. I found these encryptions first on the US $100 bill, and then I discovered this soon thereafter. This is all describing how mankind's being, how the blood of mankind, the seed of mankind, came from the oceanic properties of our world. It's hard to imagine, huh? You see, this is a representation of a fish. You see the redness in his mouth? Oh, you don't see it, right? Because the flowers and all. Well, the leaves of the flowers actually creates the fish face. See the teeth, the rows of teeth. See how the leaves cleverly create the eyes of the fish? You see that? And then the red, it is stating from the fish came the blood in the veins from mankind. On this side here you have, where we at here? I lost the image. The demonic-like creature. See the horn there, the eye, the nose, and the mouth. Don't sound real, does it? Well, people, this here, you know what this creates? These spikes coming. This creates the clasper of this creature, which is the megalodon shark. For those of you that don't know what a clasper is, it's the female reproductive system of that of a fish, which is that of, I'm describing as being the megalodon shark, which contain these spikes right here. Now, let me show you. Oh, and when you Google the image also, the dead eye that we have here, I see another face actually looking down forward. Eye, there. But anyway, when you Google this image, you'll notice that her eye is a dead eye. That represents, not no Illuminati stuff, people, as people are being sidetracked off to believe. What that represents is that there is one eye in this world, dimensionally, and then there is the other blind side is in the eye of other dimensions. And this is the scenario in which I am. And this is why I'm able to bring you these amazing videos. At her forehead is a transparent image, seemingly, of a demonic figure, as well as that demonic figure also appears right. Let me bring that in for you, people. There as well. The eye, the left eye, the right eye, the horns, the nose, and the mouth. A perfect face of a demonic being. Now, as I turn it back up, you see it slanted sideways. You see these multi-dimensional faces, people? This is who we genetically are and how we genetically came to be. And these artists are capturing it all in their artworks. Now, I'm going to show you on a $100 bill how I arrived at all of this. So now, let's go back to the Black Madonna over here first. This and this are describing the same exact thing. It's just that this is in graphic detail, a grail, if you will, of how it all was done. Oh, I almost missed out on, there is a head of a serpent, which is right there, a snake. Now, I'm going to go to the $100 bill, because that is what actually, the US $100 bill is what actually brought me to all of this. So you see the crystal-like magic ball there? It is here. So you see the woman there? The African woman there? Why is her face? Let me bring this in the side by side. Let me bring this in the side by side instead of keep flipping up. Now, I'm going to show you something. I'm going to try to get this side by side. Screwing this up. People, this stuff is truly amazing. It's actually hard to try to get all of this. And these are live videos that I'm doing. I'm not scripted. So just imagine me doing this all in an unscripted way. Notice the eyes, the face, the ball, rebirth, shown pulling. This is showing you what is in the rebirth. This one here, they're showing you, and it's almost, you can almost pretty much see, because this is stating a reptilian sense of how the black genes, the African genes, were contaminated with our founding genetics of that of our reptilian ancestor, a reintroduction at this point, which calls for the change. And this child, if you look at this, is actually wearing, the way the clothing is shown, is stating a reptile, the scales of a reptile. So the message is the same exact message. A genetic bridging over reptilian, which is a representation by the green portion here. This is too much to ignore, people. The messages are identical. Describing exactly which reptilian being, because I can trace this to the being which they are describing, on how it all actually occurred. All of this, people, in graphic detail of how mankind got from this likeness, or should I say, from this likeness to these likenesses to these likenesses. And included in all of it was an affection, not just to that of the ape and African ancestor, but to all these creatures which through that a metamorphic process were created. And look at the faces of these monkeys. There's an African American man or African American right here, and he's cut out. But these faces, these changing faces, are identical to the changing faces of that of the ape. Now, I'm going to go to the $100 bill and describe to you how I even arrived at this in the first place. In fact, there's a close-up there. This might bring us in a little closer, but it becomes distorted because there's a penis in there. You know, people, you're going to have to... This is actually distorted, but you can, I guess you can actually see that demonic figure in her forehead right there. Oh, God. You see that face right there in her forehead? You see that? There you go, right there. It's not hard to imagine, is it? You see it? Look at her face, people. Now, I'm going to take you to the $100 bill. Because that is what actually brought me here in the first place. Oh. I guess the forces don't want me to tell y'all about this, so it actually knocked over my prop here. You see that? You see how strong these forces is? No, I don't think that had nothing to do with it. I think I just had it up there carelessly, that's all. Okay. Now, look at how this creates a perfect doll. And look at all of these faces. Look at this one face here. Green, looking down, mouth, left eye, right eye, looking down. And then look how this face is. Left eye, right eye. And then there's a bunch of other faces. I mean, that's looking at you, looking straight ahead. Look at this, people. Multi-dimensional faces. Look. And then it creates like she's holding the doll up. Pulled from her vagina. From the flower. From the genetic altering. Pulled from her own body. Showing you this. Amazing. Truly, absolutely amazing. And it all began with what's being depicted over here is the fish and its clasper. And that's what these spikes are. If you guys ever, if you Google a shark's clasper, it has these spikes on it, people. It's amazing how this connection all comes to. Now, let me bring up the $100 bill. I mean, yes, the $100 bill. There's penises in here too, but the image, believe it or not, is hard for me. Now, if I had this blow it up and went from there, I'm going to have to actually, dang, look at that face there. That's amazing. I'm going to have to figure out a way to get these images in a more detailed way, because when you print them out, it takes away from what is actually there. It all started with this $100 bill over the weekend on my Facebook page. Well, if you look into the ear of Ben Franklin on that bill, you will notice that his ear lobe is not an ear. His ear is not an ear at all. It's actually a wormhole with a black object shown going inside. And that's where all of this began. On how I arrived at the Black Madonna. I started seeing other things which created the testicles, which are back here, and this area here shown as creating a penis in the rolls of his neck right there. I see another penis coming around this side of his face right there. And I see an object snaking out of the bridge of his nose, which, by the way, that same object, which is here, that's snaking out of the nose, if you catty corner this image here, the same exact image is in her cheek, right there, in the shiny created spot right there. So what is right there in her cheek is the same exact object in shape and in depiction shown here. Now, it's gonna get more detail. Also, in my discovery about the $100 bill, with these encryptions that I have been finding, I realized that in not the new US $100 bill, but in the one before that, if you look around the mouth of Ben Franklin, you will see that the skin is graphed, meaning that this bill was altered here and there, almost like a skin graft, but it was done on paper, suggesting that this bill was altered from the beginning to keep you from seeing other encryptions that were obvious, and it was removed. So when you look at the bill, the US $100 bill before the new one that is out currently, you will see that the mouth area has been replaced and a portion of the nose. You know why? Because encryptions that were too obvious. This portion around the mouth, there's a ring around the mouth, and you will see where it was cut and pasted when this particular bill was created. There and here on the nose. Now I have this in my video on Facebook. So what is being shown on that bill? It gets better, people, because I'm going to show you how I got to this. What is being shown is that in that ear, look, here's that area on the mouth that is much more clear right here. You see this line, this ring around his mouth on the previous bill? All of this has been changed when this bill was printed. And then there's an area also on the nose right here. It's my position that what was removed were obvious encryptions, encodings, which could have been exposed. This bill could have been exposed for, and they removed it. You see that? So when you pull out your $100 bill, you look at that. And these other things that I see include the body of a fish right there. However, let's go right to what is at his ear, supposedly earlobe, because his earlobe is not an ear at all. It is shown with an object going in his ear. Now we all know when a worm-like object is shown going in a orifice, a cut in this is shown as being a invasion of a body. This is a body invasion. Look, people. So what is being invaded? Well, people, if you look at the ear closely, this creates the face of a white ape. Along in the hairline, these snaking images along the hairline creates the presence of the black origins from which this man evolved. These images describe how this man genetically became who he was at this point, and then what transpired to his genetic contribution to genetically altering himself furthermore yet. From what? From these beings. You see, people, artwork globally are all suggesting the same exact thing. How mankind genetically evolved in our world. Now, if you look closer to this, you will actually see a face on this. Now, on the new $100 bill, you know what that face is? I challenge you. The new US $100 bill, let me show you which one I'm talking about so that there's no mistaken. This new $100 bill, you copy it, pull it up to its most highest resolution, and you will see the face of an ape. That's right, people, an ape. And do you know what this worm-like object orifice is shown? It represents the ape's penis, the ape's dick. You know what this is a representation of? This is a Leonardo da Vinci encryption style, and it represents the genetic intervention the change, the contamination of that ape's gene, which this man was also involved on in a later on point. And that's what this is all describing. Now, and by the way, all of the other things that I'm going to be pointing out to you about this man's face, that cutaway at the mouth, all that has been fixed. All the encryptions have been changed except for that ear. That's still the, oh, and it has the ape's face on it. So when you Google it, you will see a penis, the helmet of the penis, and the ape's face is created on that. But you have to take it to the right resolution, people, to see it when you blow it up. Okay, thank you. Now, let me show you what you can expect to see. You will see a similar face to that of this here. This is on the previous $100 bill, where I told you there's a white monkey. There's a chin, there's a mouth, there's a nose, there's an eye, okay? There's an eye. Here's the forehead. Here's the slit of the penis, and this creates a penis, right? Describing specific genes. And this is the reason why on the $100 bill, on the new and old, you have that wormhole in what is supposed to be an orifice, which is supposed to be that man's ear. Now, I'm going to go a little further. Now, what happened next? Oh, let me describe this before I go forward, because I want to get this in the video too. This penis that I described, or identified right here, going down underneath the throat of Ben Franklin. You know where the split is? Right there for the scrotum sacs on an actual man. This shadowed area creates the one side. This area here creates the other side. So here you have two testicles. You see that? The black side and the white side, and the split up the middle, and then the shaft of the penis coming down around his throat. Now, what is being described here? It is showing you that, look, there is a black intervention of the white side, which is this man, and it's showing you this represents an open cutaway of the nut that is inside the sac. The testicle, people. This is a view of an intervention, a manipulation being made. So how is it being done? You see what this is stating, people? Look, it's showing you that semen is being ingested. And how is it being done? It's showing you it's at his throat, people, orally. This man genetically sacrificed himself and subjected himself to oral injections of black semen, ancient rooted semen. Now, I know you find that scenario to be just as bizarre as everything else that I am stating, but it is a cult-like ritual that has always been in practice from the beginning. It's a cult-like ritual that is practiced today. This is why you have that overwhelming number of clergy being found guilty of that of being with little boys. This is a practice that occurred in our ancient rooted history and is still in practice today. This is why these high-ranking clergy officials are being found guilty of doing this. This is why members of the high-ranking Catholic community in Rome, this is why the popes, this is why also the kings and queens, you cannot get their blood sample. They have their own doctors. Their medical records are sealed. This is why if you looked into the archives of these ancient scenarios where there were popes that were sick, died of throat infections, severe throat infections. Our President George Washington, and here in the U.S., died of a severe throat infection. I'm telling you that he was a semen drinker too. These cult-like rituals cause for them to subject themselves to orally ingest or digest blood and semen. Now, you probably say, well, this is impossible. I can't even comprehend such a scenario taking place. Well, people, then you need to research the fact that through the pineal gland, there was this divine sense of awareness that every ancient religious group practiced. It's just that people like this, people like popes, people like kings and queens, they took it to another level to where they went through all extremes to cover these practices up, which included going globally and destroying precious artifacts and early on explorations with Christopher Columbus, with the conquistadors. These people went globally and destroyed. Why do you think that? Why you have, and look at the people that made those journeys first, the British, the Romans. And look at how all of these people today enjoy this knowledge. There are artifacts in their museums, even with Rome, that don't even belong to them globally because of what they've done. If they have the artifacts, they have the knowledge. Imagine going into these places and what you first saw. Took notes, and then destroyed it. What you couldn't carry away. Look at all of the gold that these kingships and queenships had. Look at the gold that the Vatican has, that they got from ill-gotten proceeds. Melted down and then made their own deities. People, let's go back because I'm getting sidetracked and I'm getting lost in thought here. Let me go back. Now, I have had a member on my a friend on Facebook. He photoshopped this image, and when he photoshopped it, he did an overlayment, and all of that unfolded on my Facebook page a few days ago. So what did we get from the Photoshop image? I'm going to take everything down now. From the photoshopped image, we got this. This is an overlay image of the US $100 bill. You see this? And oh, by the way, let me bring back up her, because look at this, people. You see this oval object here? I told you creates the mouth of the fish. There's the teeth and the eyes and all of that. The redness creates a seed. Lo and behold, the seed is created again. I just did a video as well too from the aerial view, satellite view of Rome's Colosseum. the same oval appears in the center of the Colosseum. And not just that, people, but the structure of the Colosseum creates the curled over snake nesting its egg. It even has an area, a flat area, that I have a video, you have to see it, that creates the head of that serpent, that being. But let me keep going back here. The guy that photoshopped this, don't pay attention to these lines, because they were lines when this image was stretched out. We're showing a king's crown, a queen's crown. It was showing other encodings. So when he photoshopped it, these lines came to like this. But don't pay attention to them. Let's pay attention to what is actually going on here. You have a veiled individual. Point. Here's the head right here, which creates seemingly that of a serpent. You have the left eye, the right, hold on, no, the left eye and the right eye up in here. There's a face in here. It creates a face of a clergy. This would create his beard. This is his right shoulder. This is his left shoulder. Comes down. Here is a cross there. Here is his right arm coming around, bent at the elbow, coming up. Here is his right hand, clasped in prayer. Here is his left shoulder coming down, bent at the elbow here, coming up, clasped in prayer with the right hand. And here are the thumbs in prayer. Even creates sleeves for the garments. And all of this is in George Washington's hair. I'm doing it again. Ben Franklin's hair. Take that back. Strike that. This creates the female vagina. Just as here is shown from the female vagina. The same exact thing. Inside of here are black faces. I'm going to turn it over. But remember when I told you about that portion about the mouth being changed? You see it clearly here. You see that? All of this has been changed with this bill. Look at that area right there. And then here on the nose, it looks like a skin graft on paper. This bill has been changed. And it's my position that this was cut away and removed at one point when this bill was created, because of identifying things like this that needed to be kept secret. Now, what else is here in this photoshopped image? Now, this creates an egg, a seed. That's what this is all about. The seed of the lotus. It shows you how through dark, murky waters emerged these beings. Now I'm going to turn this image over. I'm going to bring this in closer for you first of all. Inside of here, you should see this on my Facebook page, people. This is absolutely amazing. But look at here. I can't show you on this, but people, this, oh, I have to show you upside down. I'm sorry. I have to show you upside down this. I'm going to show you something. If I can get this. Now, upside down. Look at this being right here. Looking almost like a werewolf. There's his left eye, there's his right eye. Look at these antlers coming off of his head on either side. There. Right in here at this vagina. Well, first of all, let me go take you here. Let me see if I can show you the face of the pig. Because there's horn beings all through here. There's a devil image here. Let me take you through the devil image first. Here is the right horn of that devil image. Here is the left horn. There is his forehead. There is his left eye. There is his right eye. There is his nose area. Here's his mouth area. And guess what's in his mouth area right there? Well, you guessed it. No, you didn't guess it. A King Kong's face. There's the left eye, there's the right eye, there's the nose, there's the mouth, and here's his hairy face, our hairy image. And you know how apes are. Where's my other ape image? Let me show you what is there, people. You see how I'm going to use, not this, you see how this guy's skin is right there? And then the hair, the face, you see how that is? The face, and then the hair is outlining the face. Well, people, it is there, and it creates the beard of this horned being. Look, I'm going to see if I can, I'm going to bring that in close for you. Let me take that off of here so you can see that ape face. Now, people, I have images of this on my Facebook page. And if you're not a nut, look at that ape face right there. There's his chin, there's his mouth, there's his left eye, there's his right eye, there's his eyebrow, here's his hairy forehead or top of the head, which creates the mustache area for this horned being, and then the bearded area, all right there. I'm going to bring that in as close as possible for you to get a realization of that ape creature, people. You see that? And where's my pig while I'm at this? Where's my pig? Where's my pig? Where's my pig? My pig is in here somewhere. And I can't see it. It's actually more difficult to show you here. But look at these beings, people. Look at this. You see this? That face there? Look at that. You see the antlers? You see that? People, these beings are how we were created. And this is on the US $100 bill. Not just that though, people, is that everything that I'm describing is in a sequence of order which all describes. What? Oh, let me turn this back over. Let me turn this back over because I don't need to be here. Let me turn this back over. I'm gonna go ahead and close this video out. I'm gonna sum up this video. Oh gosh, I tell you, I need a real actually what I need is a team of experts to help me with this stuff so I can I'm gonna leave it turned a little bit. You see this, people? A clergy image, hands in prayer, holding a cross, and not even just that. You know what this cross is right there, and I didn't even tell nobody, but I can tell y'all now. You see this cross? Well, he's actually stating, you see this, all of these genetics taken from the black vagina, from our originating ancestor, and this is showing yet another crown. And we all know who wears crowns. Who wears crowns? People? Who are crowned? Kings and queens? Our ancient rooted religion? These people that wear the crowns? You see that, people? Who dressed in these garments like this here, covered over today? Need I say more? Isn't this the image of our popes of today? Hold on, do I have that book? Hold on for 1 minute. I want to show you something, people. The cross, the crowns, all of that stuff. Who dressed like that today, people? But hold on, it gets better. I'm going to show you something. The crown with the cross on it? You see the crown? I mean, the crown with the cross and all that. Look, people. You see the crown and the cross being placed on that head right there? You see that, people? Hold on. Because it gets better. Hold on. Let me see if I have some other. Here's another crown. Look at this. With the cross. I want to show you this guy at the wall. Hold on, people. Let me find this guy at the wall. I'm going to show you something. If I can find this before time runs out. Where are you at? I'm probably not going to find it now because I'm looking for it too hard. Oh gosh, I'm losing time here. Where in the world is that image at? This guy at the wall. I don't know where it's at. And I guess I'm going to have to let this. Oh, check this out. At the Virgin at the lap, what brought me, I showed you about the Black Virgin. Look at this here. Same exact thing scenario there. Hold on. I gotta find this guy at the wall. But I guess I'm gonna have to let it go because I'm losing too much time. I just want to show you that what you are witnessing here, people, and I don't have nothing against religion or anything of that nature. I'm not into no demonic mess. I told you that before. But what I'm into is the reality behind the truth as to what is happening around us and who actually knows about it. And they're taking it and twisting it in our minds as something completely different. Now, you talk about heaven and hell. How can you possibly be associated with any place if you don't even know the facts about what is going on? So ask yourself, why is this stuff being hid from you? And why is this stuff appearing in encodings and not just a US $100 bill, not just in artwork, but in everything, in your home products, in the designs of your clothing, in the makes of your cars, the designs of your cars, the insignias. I mean, in the children toys that you buy. All of these things have this stuff here that you're seeing right here because of people's underlining, in my sense, demonic ways, the real demonic ways, and doing this and being underhanded and undermines what is everything that you have been brought to believe about religion. I cannot find this image. Oh, you know what? It must be in a daggone another book. And I'm looking through this book. I'm going to try it one more time and see if I can find this guy at the wall. Because that's the most spookiest thing. No, and I can't find it in this book. So that means that it's in another book. So I'm going to let it go with that. But anyway, I'm going to let that go. But people, it's my position that this stuff, it is what is actually. I'm going to let this go. I might have it here. I had two books. I was in the wrong book. Let me see if I can find this. I'm still here, people. I'm still here. That stuff. Is this it? No, this is not it. But look at this, people. I'm going to show you that one image that's so bizarre. if I can find it. What is the real message here, people? And the real message is that of what I'm describing to you. Here, look at this crown here that's being there. But look at this. Here's another image of a pope in a cave like scenario. And look at this, people. What is the real meaning behind all of this? I have to close this video up because I'm going beyond the time and it might not upload. I'm going to stop right here, people. I'm going to stop this video. I just wish that I can find that image real quick. But anyway, my name is Jerome Wright. You're watching my Jerome Wright channel here on YouTube. And people, with that, I'm going to go because I don't want this video to go over the time. I'm out. Stop. Being that of George Washington. So, and I guess we can agree that both characters are seemingly so much alike as well. And I'm sure I'm not the only one that made a mistake. All right, but there's no justification for it. I made a mistake. I stand corrected on it. However, let's go back to this Madonna image. Unbeknownst to a lot of people, that there are commemorating statues, commemorating texts, and ancient artifacts which symbolizes the Black Madonna. Okay? And it's for good reason, people, because it is not only just a scientific fact, but it is a logical fact that we evolved from a creature which was that of ape. Okay? And in order, and this is just being in a logically stated way, in order for us to get from this creature and likeness, we had to go through a metamorphic process which would cause for this creature likeness, and then finally into becoming the likenesses of all other mankind. Everyone, this is Jerome Wright, and you're joining me on my Jerome Wright YouTube channel. Okay, as you are all aware, through my paranormal experience and encounter, which is ongoing, I have been able to bring you some amazing videos, okay, regarding what I encountered through my experiences that has given me this higher sense of awareness and understanding as to what is going on around us, who knows about it, and pretty much the evolution and the true evolutionary passages of mankind. What you're looking at here, and actually in doing that, I'm able to understand artwork and give you a sense of how to read this artwork and what is going on and why there were certain scenarios in mankind's ancient texts and ancient artwork that just seem so baffling, but yet those that are in the position to best describe what this is going on have no answers, you know, and it's just mind-boggling that. Okay, now, so logically stated, you would logically think that there would be a history of our black African ancestors which genetically contributed to the genetic becoming of all other mankind. So I found that to be the case. In parts of our world, such as Poland and France, they actually share in this idea that I just stated, and they commemorate the Black Madonna. All right, so you guys can Google that and check that out. Now, but look at this, people. Look at this image. And this is a very similar scenario globally. Here you have this black likeness, this African likeness of this woman. Here with a baby sitting on her lap with a green founding pedestal, if you will, going across the feet there, and then she holds this golden ball. That we have been kept in the dark for so long. But I'm gonna bring you this image. I'm gonna get to this. I'm gonna try to make this short and sweet. Over the weekend, the holiday weekend, of Veterans Day, an amazing story unfolded on my Facebook page. Okay, what happened is that I've been drawn into the $100 bill, the U.S. $100 bill, and in doing that, I was able to make some amazing decodings on that $100 bill with Ben Franklin that nobody never knew about. I actually even made a video here on YouTube about it. However, I actually called Ben Franklin George Washington in the video. I'm going to let the video stand. I'm not going to change it. I did stand corrected in a footnote, and I did actually state after a viewer brought it to my attention. But also, though, it's notwithstanding the fact that I actually have decoded George Washington as well. So this is the reason why Ben Franklin George Washington came to mind when I was describing the $100 bill. As people, what do this have to do with religion? Look at this. What this is showing you is this woman is stating through her body, through a genetic altering process, there was an extraction of genes, and a new gene was created. And this is the only logical sense that you can make out of this image. Why else would this woman be holding a ball? This child with two fingers up. This symbolic symbol across the feet here. Now, this was an ancient scenario, artifact scenario. Let's go a little bit more modern scenario. How everything I just stated is being shown right here. You Google the image of Black Madonna. This is one that you will find in that search. Let me show you how artists